Sports and Talk with Bone. Go ahead and like, subscribe to the page, man. So, what we're gonna do here is a top 25 predictions of the games this week. It's week 7. This is just a new segment I'm trying to install onto the page, man. I'm gonna try to do it weekly. I kind of rushed it this week because it was a last second idea by my son. Big ups to him and my woman. Big ups to you, baby. And let's do this. So we're gonna start in reverse order, go from top 25 all the way down to 1. Uh, we're gonna do a spoiler alert. Number 1 ain't playing this week. Number 1 Georgia. They play next week at Florida, so they'll be on next week's segment. So 25 UCLA is playing Stanford. UCLA is coming in at 4-2. Their last game was last week. They not last week, but a week before. They had a bye week this past week, and they lost to Oregon State. Stanford is coming in at 2-4. They're coming in off a win against Colorado, a huge win. They was down by 29 points at halftime. It came back to shock the Buffs 46-43. Both of them got similar passing games. They average about 230 to 240 a game, man. The running game edge just goes to UCLA. UCLA averages about 70 more yards. I think they average somewhere about 214, 215 a game. UCLA got the better defense. So I think I'm going to go with UCLA because they only gave up 97. It's a 97 points differential on points given up on defense. So I'm think UCLA going to pull out the game. We got 24 Iowa going against Minnesota. Iowa is 6-1. Minnesota is 3-3. Iowa's coming in off a win against Wisconsin, 15-6, which was a snooze fest, man. That was one of the most boring games I ever seen in my life. And Minnesota's last game, they had a bye week this past week. They lost to Michigan 52 to 10. I think really Iowa got the better defense, but I think since Minnesota had a week to prepare for Iowa, and Iowa offense really ain't hitting on nothing, I'm going to go with the upset, and I think Minnesota's going to pull out all the stops, going to go for it on 4th down, trick plays, fake punts, everything. They're going to go for it today, and I think they're going to get it done against Iowa because I don't think Iowa's offense is going to be able to get it done. Number 23, we got Tulane at 23, and they going against the University of North Texas. Tulane is coming in at 5-1. North Texas is coming in at 3-3. North Texas got a better offense statistically. They put up better numbers on O, but Tulane's got a better defense, and they done play better competition. Tulane is coming off a win against Memphis, and North Texas is coming off a win against Temple. So, they both ride momentum into the game. I think Tulane got a better D, like I said, and they play better comp. So I think Tulane gonna be victorious with this one. They gonna take the game. At number 22, we got Air Force, and they going against Navy. Air Force is 6-0. Navy is 3-3. This is gonna be a battle of the rushers. They the rushers, bro. Air Force is the number 1 rushing team in the country. And Air Force is the 14th rushing team in the country. They don't really throw the ball, so it's gonna be whoever got the better D, which I think Air Force has the better defense. So it's gonna be a battle of the wheels in the trenches. They both average less than 100 yards passing game, so you ain't gonna rarely see them. If somebody throw for over 100 yards, it's gonna be a miracle, I believe. But I think Air Force, because they got the better D, I think they're going to go ahead and pull that one out. Louisville at 21, they got a bye, but they play Duke next week in a big monster matchup because Duke is nice this week. At 20, we got Mizzou, and they going against South Carolina. Mizzou is 6-1. South Carolina is 2-4. Mizzou's coming in with a win over Kentucky. They got a whole bunch of one-score games. this season. So that 6-1 record could be, is they just good? You know what I'm saying? Is they just good this year and they winning all the close games, or is the games close because we gonna see. But South Carolina ain't really all that great either. But I feel like they played the tougher schedule so far, and they done played some close games. They last game was a loss to Florida, and I don't know if I said Mizzou was a win over Kentucky. They last game. So I think this is going to be a toss up game because I feel like both teams is evenly matched. I don't think the records are just. I don't think they do them no justice. I think South Carolina is better than what they 2-4 records say. So I'm going with South Carolina with the upset over Mizzou, man. Next game we got going is number 19 LSU going against Army. LSU is 5-2. They last one game was a win over Auburn, and Army last game was a loss to Troy, and I don't even think they scored, y'all. So we ain't even gonna talk long about this game. LSU gonna kill Army by damn near 40 points. Move on to the next game. This game, number 18, USC versus number 14, Utah. Now, this is a big game over there in the pack. This is a huge game. USC is 6-1, and they coming off a monstrous loss against Notre Dame last week. Utah is 5-1, and they coming off of a 41-14 win over Cal. This is a big game, man. I think USC got a lot to prove this week. Caleb Williams and the boys is gonna have to rally, but I think Utah might be getting their quarterback back. He's been out with injury for a couple games, man. I think both teams got okay running games. USC got the best pass game of the two teams by far because they bringing back the Heisman Trophy winner, and he got weapons on the outside. Matter of fact, they averaged 200 more yards per game than Utah, so that lets you know how efficient they is on offense. Utah's D is way better though, so I think it's gonna pretty much be a battle of the wheels, man. It's gonna be Utah strength versus USC strength, and we gonna see who's gonna fold, man. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I think in the win after the upset loss last week against Notre Dame, I think Caleb Williams is gonna do something nice, and he gonna make the necessary plays to pull off the upset win. I guess it's gonna be considered an upset because they rank 18th and 14 to Utah's 14. So I think USC pulls off the win in a close game. Next, you got 17 Bama going against 17 Tennessee going against number 11 Bama. Tennessee's coming in at 5-1. They got a win over Texas A&M their last game. Bama's coming in at 6-1. They had a win over Arkansas when they only won by 3 points, man. Tennessee got the better offense. Their rushing game is number 16 in the country. They probably got the better passing game too, but Bama's bringing the better defense, and I think overall Bama's probably bringing the better athletes. This gonna be one of them battle of the wheel games too. One of those strength versus strength. Let's see who fold type games. I think Bama's defense is gonna fly around, and they gonna make it hectic for Tennessee. And I think the athletes is just gonna show up today, man. They've been disrespected all season. Well, I don't want to say disrespected because this ain't the Alabama teams that we used to seeing. We used to seeing high flying offenses with Amari Coopers and Smiths and stuff on the outside with decent quarterback play like Tua and Mac Jones and them. But that ain't been the case this year. But I'm still gonna take Alabama. I think their defense is gonna make enough plays and they gonna get the dub for them. Next after that, we got Number 16 Duke going against number 4 Florida State. This is a big game down in ACC country. Duke is 5-1 coming into the game. Florida State is 6-0 coming into the game. Duke's last game, they was a winner over North Carolina State, and Florida State's last game, they was a winner over Syracuse. Florida State got the better pass the game by far because they got Jordan Travis. Duke defense is underrated though. I think they might be one of the best defenses in the country. They just don't get the hype because because just other they not one of those premier football teams. You know, they really known for basketball, but they ain't really known. But they defense get out and they hit and move. Boy, they get after you. I think Florida State is gonna try to air it out, and I think Duke's game plan is gonna be to try to slow the ball down and make plays on defense. I think in the end, Florida State's gonna have more. They're gonna have more big plays than Duke's gonna be able to produce on offense. I think Florida State's gonna get them in a close game. I think the Duke defense is gonna keep a game, but I think Florida State just gonna have that just a little bit more just to push them over the edge. You know. Uh, Next, we got number 15, Notre Dame. They're on the bye. They got Pitt next week. Number 14, Utah. We just did them. Ole Miss is at number 13. Ole Miss is 5-1 coming into the game. They playing Auburn. Auburn is 3-3. Ole Miss last win was a win over Arkansas by 7. Auburn's last game was a loss to LSU by 30. That was a beat down. Ole Miss comes in with the superior passing game by far. I don't even think Auburn throwing the ball like that. The running games is about the same, but Ole Miss is gonna shut them down. I think what's gonna happen is Ole Miss is gonna throw the ball all over Auburn, and that's gonna get out of hand, and they just gonna run away with the game. So I got Ole Miss beating the dog shit out of Auburn. Number 12, Oregon State. They on the bye this week. They next game is Arizona. We already did number 11, Alabama. Number 10, North Carolina. They're going against the University of Virginia. North Carolina comes in at 6-0. Virginia comes in at a measly 1-5. North Carolina last win was a 10-point win. Well, not their last one. Their last game was a 10-point win over Miami. And Virginia's last game was a win over William and Mary. Uh, we ain't going to talk long about this. Virginia is ass. North Carolina got Drake May and the boys, and they going to run it all. They going to throw it all over their ass. It's going to be a big day for Drake May. He going to throw his name back in the top 2, top 3 in the Heisman race type performance days. That's what it's gonna be for Drake May. He might go for 400 yards, y'all. So we ain't gonna talk about North Carolina gonna kill them. Number 9, Oregon. They is playing Washington State. Oregon's coming in at 5-1. Off Washington State is coming in at 4-2. So it's a decent matchup on paper. Oregon's last game was a heartbreak loss to Washington, 36-33. Washington State's last game was a loss to Arizona, 44-6. Oof. Oregon averages about 110 more yards on the ground than them. Washington State ain't got no run game whatsoever. We ain't even gonna talk about the passing game. Bo Nix and the boys just gonna put it on them. And I think Oregon gonna win big. I think they're just gonna beat the dog shit out of Washington State. Last week was one of those chin checks. I think they're gonna come in more focused and they're gonna beat the dog shit out of Washington State. On to the next one, we got Texas playing Houston. Texas last game was a loss to Oklahoma. Houston last game was a win against West Virginia. Both teams throw the ball a lot. They really don't run the game. Houston run game ain't as effective as Texas run game, but both of them really don't. They like to air that motherfucker out. But Texas got the better D, and I think they gonna beat Houston down like they usually do. So I think Texas is gonna win big. Now we got number 7 Penn State going against number 3 Ohio State. Um, this is a battle. This is a battle of wills, boy. Really, Big Ten. This game got so much on the line because we're in territory now where Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan is going to have to start playing each other. Then we're going to have to start sorting out who's going to be representing the Big Ten in the motherfucking playoffs this year. So this is a battle of wills, man. Penn State got the better running game, but Ohio State got the better passing game. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I think both quarterbacks still got question marks about them. I think Ohio State is they set on their quarterback, but I feel like some people still clamoring for the dude that's on the bench. I think the cat at Penn State, he's supposed to be the cat that take him for the next level, but I don't think he's been tested yet. Uh, Penn State last game was a win over UMass. Ohio State last game was a win over Purdue. Uh, they both strong on defense. Uh, man, this is an even game. I don't know who gonna win this game, so I had to do the coin toss in the air, and the coin toss was my son. I asked him who was gonna win, and just like his father, his disdain for Ohio State took over. We taking Penn State for the win. Uh, After that, we got number 6 Oklahoma playing UCF. I mean University of Central Florida. Oklahoma is 6-0 coming into the game. University of Central Florida is 3-3. Central Florida is coming off a loss to Kansas, and Oklahoma beat Texas, like I said earlier in the thing. Both got UFC got a better running game on paper, but UCF, but we both know that shit's not gonna hold up against Oklahoma. Oklahoma got the better passing game and the way better D and the better players and the prestige and better players. Oklahoma's going to kill UCF by damn near 30, 40 points. Now we in the top 5. Let's break them down, boy. The University of Washington is number 5 in the country, and they going against Arizona State. Washington is coming in with a big win over Oregon, and Arizona State is walking in with a loss to Colorado. I think they had a bye. I think they had a bye week this past week, but neither teams got a dominant run game. Uh, Yeah, neither team is gonna have a dominant run game. I think Washington is obviously they got the better player, so they're gonna have a better running game than what Arizona State is coming in. But then when we talk about the passing game, it ain't even without a doubt of mine. Washington got the superior passing game. Michael Penix and them out there throwing that ball around. The wide receivers Washington got they might have the best receiving crew in football right now. And they got the better defense. I think Washington is going to put the clamps on Arizona State, and they might beat them by 40. Number 4, Florida State, we already did them. Number 3, Ohio State, we already did them. And we here with the number 2 team in the country, the best team in the fucking country, the Michigan Wolverines, baby. Yeah, and that's an old ass cup. Fuck y'all. Anyways, Michigan is going to East Lansing tonight to take on Michigan State. Michigan is 7-0. Last game was a beatdown over Indiana. We won. Michigan State is coming in at 2-4. They last game, they lost a shit show to Rutgers. Obviously Michigan got the stronger game, stronger run game. Um, I don't even know what to say about Michigan State. I think this is one of them games. So Jimmy and them is gonna have to come in and have the boys ready to go to war, man. You know these rivalry games be close, but I still think we're gonna blow them the fuck out. Michigan State ain't got nothing to lose. They 2-4, obviously. They ain't gonna make no bowl game. This is their Super Bowl, boy. They don't want nothing more in the world than to knock off the Michigan Wolverines and try to derail us from this championship season that we destined for. So they boasting big game black jerseys and all types of shit like that. I'm glad y'all wearing black to y'all funeral because we is about to bury you motherfuckers. Michigan by 30 plus points. The Paul Bunyan Trophy is going back to motherfucking Ann Arbor. And we about to put the smackdown on motherfucking Michigan State. And we gonna show everybody in a rivalry game tonight why we is the best fucking team in the country. Go blue. But man, thanks for rocking with me. Like I asked before, like, subscribe to the page, man. We're gonna start doing this weekly. And I'm gonna drop a video to see how I did with my predictions, and we're gonna break them down. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share, hate, do whatever. Rock with your boy.